Hi guys, it's me, Brianna. I know I've been away for quite some time. I wanted to start a YouTube journey maybe like over a year ago, but you know, life got to me. I've been raising my son, who is now about to be 2, and so yeah, I just wanted to come on here and give you guys an update where I am at now. If you guys follow me on Instagram or my Pika Chicas page, you guys know that I have been pregnant, and I'm about to share my story with you starting from the beginning of the year. So here it goes. First of all, I was pregnant in December. I found out in December, and I had announced it to my family on Christmas.
Who's that from? Bree. It's from Bree and
Wow. Wow.
Open it!
What? I knew it! I fucking knew it! Oh, we're having another grandbaby!
Boom! Back to back.
Oh, congratulations!
And I had a short pregnancy. That pregnancy ended at 8 weeks, so I did have a miscarriage. So I'm doing this video to bring awareness and to just tell you guys what I've been through this year. So I did have a miscarriage in January. It was a little traumatizing. I would have never thought I would have gone through something like that, and it just makes me sad that these things are way more common than we think. Women have miscarriages all the time. Women have miscarriages, they have multiple miscarriages, and then finally get their baby. So I now feel for all those women that have had them or are trying and stuff. So it has really like humbled me and opened my eyes. But yeah, you know, I was very traumatized. I went to the ER because I started bleeding. And it was weird. Waited hours at the ER for them to tell me that they didn't find a heartbeat, but they didn't tell me right away that you're having a miscarriage. So I don't know why in my mind I thought that everything was gonna be okay. I guess I was still hopeful, but the next day the doctor did call me and told me I was gonna have a miscarriage. So, well, I was having one, and she told me that I would probably go in to get a procedure done or take medicine to help, I guess, you know, naturally abort the baby. But my body did its own thing on its own. Literally 3 hours later, after talking to the doctor, I experienced something so crazy and traumatic. I literally like had the baby come out of me a few hours later. So I guess this is what happens when you have a miscarriage. So I, you know, saw the baby. I had it in my hand. I was literally like this big, and I was so sad. I couldn't believe it. The next day or 2 days later, I had buried the baby with my mom in a little tiny box, and I'll show pictures. About that. So that was the beginning of the year. I'm still not over it. you know, I would have had, I believe it was a boy. I did go ahead and look and stuff. I would have had him this month, August. So that's one angel baby that I have looking over me and Andres, all our family. Now going to when being pregnant. After that, shortly after I had a miscarriage, I got pregnant right away, and I did not think you can get pregnant right away after having a miscarriage, but turns out you can, as little as 2 weeks. I believe I got pregnant a week right after I had a miscarriage, and I didn't find out till I don't remember. I believe it was March. Probably March is when I found out. I was feeling weird. I was feeling nauseous, which is not likely of me. I never really get nauseous. I never really get sick. And then I started having dreams about being pregnant. So I was like, well, I gotta take a pregnancy test. And sure enough, it came out positive. And this is where my rainbow baby came in. I went to the doctors at, well, my first doctor's appointment, I was 10 weeks. So I was already far along, not far along, but further than what I have gone to the doctor before. Usually with Andres, I was 7 weeks, and then with my miscarriage, I was 6 weeks, so I would find out early. But this time, I did find out, but when I went, I was 10 weeks, so I was way further along. And doing the math and going back, I did get pregnant right after my miscarriage, a week after. So in my head, I'm so happy. I have a miracle baby, my rainbow baby, and I was so happy. You know, I have always wanted for my kids to be so close in age, so I was ready. Andres, you know, is gonna become a big brother. Well, this story took me so long because I have been through so much. My baby has been through so much, and it literally felt like so fast but so long at the same time. So when you're pregnant, you go in for a nuchal translucency ultrasound, is where they measure the back of the neck, the fluid back there. So when I got that ultrasound, the number was abnormal. So when that happens, you have to you are offered genetic testing. You don't have to do it, but I did it, and there are a few options you can do. One is through blood, but that only tests about 4 chromosome abnormalities. And then there is a CVS procedure where they go in either through your belly or through your vagina and take out fluid from your placenta and test the baby's DNA there for all the chromosomal abnormalities. So when that happens, you have to think about what if you're okay with not knowing that there's something, or you would want to know everything. So I didn't want to know everything. There is a small chance of a miscarriage if you do that, but it's very small. So I went ahead with the procedure, and it came back normal. And I really thought everything was okay. But if you do come back with a nuchal translucency that is not normal, I guess, which I didn't know, that there could be heart defects or something like that. And I didn't think at the time that my baby would have a heart problem. And sure enough, the baby did, and I didn't find out until 19 weeks at my ultrasound anatomy scan for the baby. That's where they look at everything, and that's where I found out that our baby had a heart defect. At first, the diagnosis was that the baby's heart wasn't, the left side of the heart wasn't pumping blood properly, or as the right side was working just fine. Just the left side was not pumping up blood like it should be. So that's what the doctor had told me at first, and then I think a week later I went to see a pediatric cardiologist, and he went in and did an echo on the baby's heart, and same thing. He looked at the baby's heart, and the diagnosis we got at that time was aortic valve stenosis. And of course I was already hurt and so sad for the baby because having a heart problem, I was scared that something bad would happen. And when there are problems like this, abnormalities, they do tell you that you can terminate, or you can continue on and see what happens. And I couldn't bring myself to terminate the baby. I wanted to do everything I could possibly do for the baby to survive and make it, even though that with this diagnosis that the baby would have to have procedures done or be hospitalized right when the baby's born. And I knew then like our lives would change forever. Like they changed like that day. In that moment I knew like whatever happens, my life is not going to be the same. So I had hope for the baby. I was hoping for a miracle. I would pray all the time. So moving fast forward to my pregnancy announcement. When I announced that we were pregnant, I know it took a while. I was already 6 months pregnant at the time. Just because I wanted to keep the baby to ourselves and, just enjoy every moment and without sharing with everybody. And it was really different at the time because I was so open. When I had Andres, I was, posted at 14 weeks, and then from there on, would just post all the time about me being pregnant. But this time I guess to me wanted to protect my baby in a way. And I obviously didn't share what was wrong with my baby at the time. As a parent, you want the best for your kids, and I hoped and prayed for just for everything to be okay. So after my pregnancy announcement, I was already going into the doctors every week, so that was tiring. And also like that slowed down me doing Picas Chicas. So if you're here from Picas Chicas, you are now going to know what I have been going through and why I haven't been so active on there. August 9th was my big appointment with pediatric cardiologist, and a few more doctors looking at what's going on with the baby, and August 9th, our lives like changed forever. At that ultrasound, the baby was already had severe complications inside. His heart started backing up. The left side of the heart was not developed properly, and it wasn't getting any worse. At 19 weeks there was blood flow, but over time it became no blood flow at all on the left side. So basically the right side of the heart was doing more than what it should, and then also what would keep the baby alive was me through the placenta. And at that ultrasound, after it was done, I literally felt so sick and wasn't ready to hear what they had to tell me about the baby. So we literally went into a room, and this is not normal when your baby's healthy. I did not go through any of these things with Andres. They literally brought me into a meeting room, and usually when that happens, obviously there's something wrong and they have to talk to you and let you know what can happen. So they gave us their diagnosis of Hypoplastic Left Heart Syndrome. So our baby's heart, he literally has like the worst. Hypoplastic Left Heart Syndrome is basically you have half a heart. The baby's heart didn't progress as well. It got worse over time, and things started backing up. It started swelling up inside. There's fluid in the lungs, and I believe the belly was getting swollen as well. And that's just, I guess, because the heart wasn't doing what it's supposed to do. So we were told that day that we would have, they said, hours, days, maybe weeks left that the baby would be alive. So basically I would have a stillborn baby inside of me. And I couldn't believe it. I literally had prayed and hoped the night before that appointment that things would turn around. I would hope for a miracle. I would pray that the baby would make it, you know. After that day, let me look at my calendar. August 9th. Yeah, August 9th is when they told us that. And then literally August 9th was the last time I felt the baby move. The baby would give me hope all the time because of how active the baby was. The baby would kick all the time and be moving all the time. I even felt like this baby was more active than my first baby. So on August 9th was the last time I felt the baby kick me. And then shortly after that, the baby stopped moving, and the doctor did tell me that the baby is not moving is because baby is sick and isn't doing so well. And I went back into the doctor's Wednesday, the 11th, and they asked me if the baby's moving, and I told them no. It would feel like the baby was moving, but no kicks, no nothing. So I for sure thought that the baby was already gone that day. But that day, there was still a heartbeat. And the doctor did tell me that he thinks in a few days that the baby's heart is going to stop. August 16th, there was no heartbeat. And it wasn't even my doctor that told me this, it was the nurse. After she had been kind of rude to me, like she was the one who told me. My sister Erica was there with me because I didn't want to be alone. And we just immediately broke down and sobbed because the baby was gone. So my doctor came in and basically told me, he was sorry, and when the baby's heartbeat stopped, it probably had stopped. There's no telling of when the baby's heart stopped. I guess sometime after I left Wednesday throughout the weekend. And basically I had to prepare myself to give birth to a sleeping baby. I still had to go through the whole process of giving birth, but obviously it's not going to be the same as how it happened for us the first time. Yes, this hurts me so much, but I know the baby was hurting more than me. I know the baby would have had multiple heart surgeries, maybe even a heart transplant if the baby did make it. I knew that it was going to be hard, that if the baby didn't make it, we would be in the hospital for who knows, months. Who knows what could have happened. But that's why I'm doing this video, to bring awareness, to help me out, because I literally was hit by a truck and didn't know what was going to happen, and didn't know that these things do happen all the time, even though it is rare. It does happen, and unfortunately it happened to us. I basically left the hospital and got ready to go back to the hospital to be induced and go through labor, just how you do when you are ready to give birth. But I was only 29 weeks and literally scared to death. I didn't want to go to the hospital. We didn't end up going to the hospital till 10 o'clock at night, because I was just holding back and in disbelief of what was going to happen. So I was admitted into the hospital, and it started on, I think, Cytotec. It was just little pills to help you get induced, and the whole process took so long. With Andres, I literally got to the hospital Wednesday, had him Thursday, and this process took almost the whole week, and it was literally really traumatic and scary. I wasn't ready to give birth and say goodbye. So I went in Monday night. Tuesday, I didn't really progress. My cervix did soften, but I wasn't dilating. And they told me that this process, getting induced while you are basically not ready, 29 weeks, you're not ready to give birth. So my body was doing what it's supposed to. It's protecting my baby. And I did everything I could for us to get to where we were. So I ended up having the baby Thursday morning. I literally pushed the baby out, and they laid the baby on me. The baby was sleeping. He was so beautiful. My little baby boy, Andres, was gonna have a little brother. And I named him Archie because I love that name. I wanted to name Andres Archie, and it just worked out because this was my rainbow baby, and Archie was the perfect name. I called him Archie. Andres called him Archie. My niece called him Archie. Everybody knew the baby as Archie. And it did cross my mind that if the baby didn't make it, would I even name him that? But that was his name, and I kept it as that. That will be his name on his death certificate and everything, and he'll forever be my little Archie. He was so beautiful, even though he was half the size of Andres. He was so cute. And they ask you when these things happen if you want to see your baby and hold the baby, and without hesitation I wanted to hold him, because that would be the only time I'd be able to hold him, because I wouldn't be leaving home with the baby. So we had him for a few hours, and then once we were sent to our other room, I had to say goodbye. Me and Rafa had to say goodbye to our little boy. And it sucks because obviously I couldn't have any visitors, so it was just me and Rafa in that room. Leaving that room without a baby literally broke me. Going into my next room without a baby was the hardest thing. It felt so weird. It felt not normal. So now, Andres has a little guardian angel, and he's up in heaven with my mom. And my mom gets to have a little grandbaby with her to help her watch over us. So that's why I've been so not posting about my pregnancy. Not that I was embarrassed or anything, just because I knew that I only had a little bit of time to enjoy being pregnant, and I wanted to keep that to myself. And in the little 29 weeks I had him, it taught me a lot. It taught me what a lot of people go through, and it's not just me. And I wanted to bring awareness because I wasn't aware of what had happened to us. So hopefully whoever sees this one day, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram or whatever. I'll leave my socials down. It's just crazy because what do I say when people like, how many kids do you have? I'm gonna always be reminded of him. I can't stop thinking of him. I literally replay everything that has happened over and over constantly. And I do understand like what happened. I have had time to think about what could happen, the bad things, even though I had hoped and prayed for the best outcome. But I know that he's no longer suffering. He was probably hurting inside of me. I'm just happy I had to protect him for as long as I could. I just feel a little discouraged, like, because I did lose 2 babies this year. I'm starting all over. And I know I could try again, but it's just sad because I wanted this baby. I wanted Archie so bad. I love him so much. It's been hard lately because I've been like seeing people and they've been asking me about being pregnant, and I have to say I'm no longer pregnant. And it literally hurts. I feel like I'm being stabbed in the back all over again. What I think about all the time is like, Andres, do I still get to... He's still a big brother, obviously, and just letting him know one day that he does have a little angel baby brother watching over him. I gave birth to an angel, and now I have to live life with a lot of nevers. My baby will never get to do this or that. But I know he's in a better place. I know it would have been so hard, but I would have fought for him. And he is a fighter. Which made me so happy and literally so hopeful that he would make it. I know people say like things happen for a reason. I don't know why I don't want to believe that for me, because I literally got pregnant right after. Like, He was a miracle. He was my rainbow baby. And it sucks that it was just taken from me like this. So that's our story. I am okay. I know people ask me all the time, well, you know, my close family and friends. I am okay. Obviously I'm so sad, but you know, I have a lot to live for, and I know that Archie will send me another gift one day, and I'm just taking the time to heal and just be ready for whatever life throws at me. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it makes sense, and I hope whoever comes across this, feel free if you're going through the same thing or would just like to be informed. I know I have way more knowledge than what I'm explaining now, or if you just need a friend, you know, I'm here. And just know, like, that things are gonna be okay, and it takes time. There's a lot of support out there. I myself have joined support groups during the time, and you know, it has helped me. I have gained more knowledge of what babies go through, and I just wanted to end it here and saying, Archie, I miss you so much, and please look after Andres for me. Andres loves you, and I know one day he will talk about you and ask for you, and I get to say that he has an angel watching over him. Your dad loves you. We all love you. And I miss you. I will never forget about you. Archie.
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 Yeah.